Hi, I'm Annie. Today I want to talk about perceptual shifts in the coaching process. Last week I did a 3-day, 30-hour Zoom seminar. It was really intense for me. I know that there are a lot of people who do most of their workday on Zoom. They're probably a lot more used to it than I am. Anyway, it was really intense, and I was the person in the little Zoom box that had the yoga mat, and I was doing the downward dog and like reaching over and touching my toes and moving around and wiggling a lot, and I was really the only one doing that. There are a lot of people like sitting behind corporate desks and, being very professional. And, we were encouraged to move around, but it seems like I was really the only one doing it. Even with my wiggling and stretching, I was still so sore. Like my body was genuinely just broken from being on Zoom for 3 days straight. I don't know how people do it. Anyway, the class was really amazing. In the class, we were just working on different coaching techniques, and we had a lot of time to practice. So the facilitators would actually break us off into rooms so that we could do, one-on-one coaching with each other and practice the techniques that we were discussing in the seminar. I've heard coaches say before about one-on-one coaching that when the client has some kind of epiphany, that it's really magical. And they'll say something like, "I got chills." And I've even had a coach say that to me in a session. And I just, I thought it was bullshit, kind of or I was skeptical. Are you being disingenuous? Like, really? You got chills? I wasn't totally sure that they weren't bullshitting me. But after taking this class and having experiences of one-on-one coaching, I really believe that that's a real thing. When you witness someone having a perceptual shift, it really is moving. I had 2 separate experiences where the client that I was coaching suddenly realized something about their issue or saw a new way of looking at it that was a positive shift in the right direction. They suddenly had an epiphany and saw a new solution that they'd never seen before. And 2 separate times when that happened, it was really moving for me. And actually, I kind of almost started to cry, like my eyes got kind of wet. And I don't think that they noticed, but I was just really present and in the moment and with them and feeling that shift. Yeah, I don't think they noticed I was welling up. Goddamn masculine FI. I mean, I can't help it. Like I am moved very easily. And then also when I was being coached, I showed up to the session with an issue that was kind of tricky, but not too tricky. And it was an issue that I'd looked at from all different angles. My sleep processing is really high. So when I say that I've looked at it from a lot of different angles, I really mean that, in a deep sleep processing kind of way. And I was still just sort of stuck. During that session, having this dialogue of inquiry with the coach, I actually saw the situation from a new perspective. And then the coach could see that happening in me, and I could see her light up, and I could see that she was moved by that perceptual shift that happened. And it's really just about the technique. Coaching is guided inquiry. It's not about giving advice or asking leading questions in any way. It's sort of like you have a sleep process guide. And so if you're somebody who happens to have sleep really low, you might find this helpful. I know that people in the objective personality community sometimes ask, "I have sleep last. What do I do? How do you sleep process?" I never really knew what to say to that, because to me, I'm kind of wondering, like, how do you not sleep process? For me, it's so high in my animal stack that I can't even really explain to you how I do it. I just do it, and I can't imagine not doing it. I can't imagine a day or an hour without sleep processing. It's like automatic and almost always happening in the background. As I was in this coaching seminar and practicing the techniques of guided inquiry, I started to think, this is how you would tell someone to sleep process. This is how you could facilitate sleep process as a guide, to guide someone through that process. And then I would think, for example, if you had low sleep and you did this process with a coach a few times, maybe you would just be more familiar with that sleep process, and then you would start to do it on your own. And that's what I noticed with coaching or any kind of therapy that I've ever done. And therapy is completely different than coaching. But in both of those scenarios, I've sort of gotten to a point where I could hear the coach in my head. And so if you have like 5 or 10 coaching sessions with someone, you start to internalize that really powerful guidance, and you start to ask yourself your own questions of inquiry. They just kind of come to you because you've had that experience before. And I get a lot of sleep processing done on my own. But working with a guide definitely takes that to the next level. There's just something about even someone else asking the question, because I know how to ask those inquiry questions of myself, that there really is something magical about it coming from the outside. It's somehow more effective. Anyway, it was a great experience. And if you ever hear a coach say that they got chills, or if a coach ever says that directly to you, I would say maybe believe them. It's probably true that the work that they're doing with you is moving, and that it's a magical, beautiful thing to witness someone having an epiphany. There really is just sort of like this energetic, surge of joy, or it's just thrilling. Just one of those things you got to experience. Or maybe you've experienced this in your life when you've seen someone, right in front of you have a perceptual shift. It's just really thrilling. So I'm going to be coaching a lot over the next year, getting a lot of practice. I'm doing peer coaching with people that I met in the class, and I have a few coaching clients already on my own, and I'm just going to be developing these skills, and I'm really excited about it. So if you want to help me out with my coaching practice, feel free to sign up with me on Snug. There's a link in the description.